Now here we are, 9 seconds left. Gators first down, 37-yard line left.
Pull up, like.
Snap to Franks. Franks dropping
How
back,
you pull up,
stepping
baby?
up,
How you
running
pull
the
up?
ball, looking. He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal
pull
line.
up.
It's going to be
Step in the kitchen.
It's a
Let's go.
touchdown. And the Gators have
Bernie
won
let me
the
get
game.
a fucking cop car.
Cleveland.
Pistol on my hip like I'm a cop.
I can't believe what I
Never
just
met a real
saw.
nigga rock
The
star.
Gators have won the
This
ball
ain't no
game.
guitar, this is a block.
Throw by Malik
My black
Franks.
told me to promise you
And
was
this
weak.
place is an inside
Better
asylum
let me go if they
again.
need me.
Oh, my
Put me on that nigga, get the
Gators
bus.
have beat
Earned it, ain't a nigga get me.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning back into the channel as we move on to week 2 in the SEC and take a look back at the win against Ole Miss and what a week it was. I will also go over my keys to victory in Saturday's matchup against South Carolina, and for you Gamecock fans, what USC will need to do to achieve a W in the win column as well. And of course, at the end of the show, I'll give you my score predictions and what I think may happen in the upcoming Florida game, as well as the SEC games of the week. First of all, I just want to say it's great to be a Florida Gator, so nothing I'm about to say is meant to be negative, so don't take it in a bad light. I'm just more of a realist when it comes to these things. So I must say, after watching the first real football in over 6 months since the Orange Bowl win over Virginia, I must say Florida's offense looks poised to win a national championship, as that was the best offense I have seen the Gators run since the Urban Meyer era, maybe even better. But, of course, there's a but. The question that's left on the table is, can our defense hold up if the offense has an off week later in the season? Because if they can't, we will find ourselves in the Citrus Bowl instead of the college football playoff, and it'll be a repeat of the 2007 season where Tebow won the Heisman, but our defense was just not consistent enough. Tebow put all the numbers up you could imagine, but we ended up still losing a few games. So let's take a look at some highlights of last week so you can see what I'm talking about. Before I put the film up on the screen, I just want to real quick go over the breakdown of this game. If you look at the stats, it's pretty even. You got 642 total yards for Florida, 613 for Ole Miss. Passing yards more of the same, a 3-yard difference. We both threw the ball outrageous out of this ballpark. 196 rushing yards for Florida, 170 for Ole Miss, 8.7 yards per play for Florida, 7.9 for Ole Miss, 32 first downs to Ole Miss's 29. Third down efficiency, Ole Miss actually was better on third down, 6 out of 10 for Florida, 9 out of 14 for Ole Miss. Even the total number of plays ran, 74 to 78. They got 4 more plays ran than we did. Penalty yardage is the same, interceptions the same, time of possession, we edged them out a good little bit there. But the point is, if you look at these numbers, it does not reflect the score shown. And to be honest, Ole Miss put up 14 points in the fourth quarter to make it a little closer than this game was. I mean, this game felt at hand for Florida. Like, I was not worried at any point during the game. So those 14 late points kind of doesn't reflect this game too well. I mean, it looks closer than it really was. And on the stat sheets, it's amazing. You look at the stats, and they're right there, neck and neck with Florida. So Florida's got a lot of things to clean up, especially on the defensive side. We had some guys out that really affected us in the secondary, and the ejection of our safety in the first drive of the game, which was not a targeting call. A horrible call, but somehow Florida always gets those calls. Anyways, I'm not making excuses, but we got some things to work on if we're going to make the college football playoff this season. we're not going to get a win against Georgia playing like that on defense. So I wanted to show you this play really quick because this is something new for Florida for the most part. We're lining up under center. This is going to allow us to open things up a lot this year, especially with Dameon Pierce. I think he's better fit for the run under center anyways. As you see here, though, you fake the handoff to Davis, and you hit Pitts on the flats. It's just perfect. You're going to see a lot of that this year. So on this play, you're going to see Donovan Steiner get caught looking in the backfield, and it's going to let the receiver get by him, sneak by him for a deep touchdown. This is unacceptable. These are the things that are going to have to get cleaned up moving forward. I also wasn't a fan of seeing Emory Jones come into the game at this point in the game in particular. Just wasn't too high on that. Of course, I wouldn't be saying this if he would have completed the pass. I get it, but it just didn't seem like the right idea. I'd rather see him in the red zones. But nonetheless, that was one of the few poor spots on offense. Wasn't too many of those. And here, you see our secondary getting beat again. Yes, Lane Kiffin is a brilliant offensive mind, but he pulled out all the stops. I get that. He probably used mostly everything in his arsenal to put up these 30-something points that he got. But regardless, not taking anything away from the Gators, it was a great day. South Carolina highlights versus Tennessee this weekend. Let's go over a few stats. Notable things here. Colin Hill with 25 of 39 for 290 yards, 1 TD to 1 interception. It was a typical Will Muschamp game. I mean, they were in it until the end. They very well could have won this game if it wasn't for the special teams turnover with a minute 30 left in the game. They could have ended up driving right down the field and scoring. Who knows? Unfortunately, they fumbled the ball on the punt return, and that was that. 379 total yards for South Carolina, 290 coming through the air, only 89 rush yards. That seems like a concern. Nothing we should worry about there. Measly 5.1 yards per play. 22 first downs. They had one more first down than Tennessee did. 6 of 15 on third down. That's where they won the game, if you asked me. That's where it looks like they would have won the game. Tennessee was only 1 of 11. That's crazy that they went 1 of 11 on third down and managed to still win this game. So let's talk keys to victory for both sides before we move on to the final segment of the show at the score prediction. Keys to a Florida victory, I think, would be, most importantly, allow less than 300 yards passing or 400 total yards. No more than 1 blown coverage assignment. That's a must. We must show improvement in that area each week moving forward. Get the wide receivers more involved. If South Carolina does a good job of containing Pitts, we're going to need to get wide receivers more touches. Wasn't really a need for that last game with the show Pitts put on, but you catch my drift. Contain Shi Smith, South Carolina's top receiver that had 10 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. That's a whopping 14-yard average per catch. And finally, have at least 2 backs with at least 75 yards apiece, or have 1 back that goes over the century mark. If Florida can manage to do a few of those things, I think this is an easy win for Florida. South Carolina, keys to a victory. Contain Kyle Pitts to under 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. If they do that, they will really be testing this Florida offense. Exploit Florida's secondary and keep Florida's defense guessing. Finally, score at least 35 plus points. I think that's where the number is. Will Muschamp has always had a great defense. If South Carolina can score at least 35, they have a great chance of winning this game. Real quick, I wanted to cover the SEC games of the week, but I'm trying to keep these videos short. Texas A&M and Alabama at 3:30 slot, and I'm sure everyone's an Auburn fan this weekend as they face Georgia at 7:30. That to me is the SEC game of the week, so be sure not to miss that one. Alright guys, and finally, I'm going to put my score prediction out there. Last week, I predicted a 35-17 game. I did not see a 51-point performance coming. I didn't think we would be clicking on all cylinders this early in the year on offense. Nor did I see Ole Miss exposing our defense to what it is. Hopefully that changes. It needs to change if we are going to make the college football playoff. But this week, it's going to be a similar pick. I am going to go with 34-13. I'm doing that because I believe in Will Muschamp's defense. He's been there for a number of years now. I know he has them right. There's no way we put up 50 points again this week. I just don't see that happening. I do, however, see us containing that offense to either a pair of scores or a touchdown and 2 field goals. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think below. I love to get your guys' feedback. But until next time, thanks for watching Inside Gator Nation. If you liked today's video, please remember to hit the like button down below, share, and subscribe for all the latest Gator news all year long. From recruiting to matchup previews, post-game highlights, and much more.